Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Blackout Gaming's coverage of ETF2L's 5th Highlander Nations Cup. Tonight, a battle in the north as Finland take on the underdogs of Norway in a best of 3 on CP Steel. I am Chando, and today I'm joined by Buck with the Wiethoofd on production. Buck, how are you doing today?
Doing alright. Enjoyed casting that other game yesterday, the Denmark-England game. England coming on top of that one, but the map has changed now to Steel from Upward. I think everyone got a bit tired of Upward, to be honest. A bit of CP action coming right in. But yeah, it should be good between these two teams. A bit of a Scandinavian fight off here between these two teams. Some very strong players on both sides, to be honest. We'll have to see how it goes.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the sort of the rosters, there's a clear favourite, and I think that favourite is Finland. You've got more or less across the entire roster Prem players, and you know, when you compare that against Norway, they don't really have it to match it. They've got Yahoo, and they've got some top high players. They've got Ixo and Yellow, who recently won high with Crazy Boy Clan. But will it be enough? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. However, CP Steel, if that's the one map where, you know, the underdogs, they really have a chance of taking it. You know, it can be a map of gimmicks, and it can be exactly the map that Norway needs to clutch some points. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Steel's definitely, like you said, it can be a map that, like, if anyone can win at like a moment's notice. Like, if you get a really good point, like a really good C push or a really good B push, like, you can shave so much time off your actual attack, and then end up getting like a 5, 6, 7 minute time. Like, recently with like really good Prem teams, the average times have been going, like, you know, further and further down just because of, like, you know, really good E pushes, like just completely ignoring B or C sometimes. So it just sort of depends heavily on what the other team like wants to do. Depends on like whether they have their sentry put, where their sniper is, and like how much the trouble they have with the flank trying to get around behind. Because, you know, obviously this map's very kind of hard to get a flank round, or very long-winded to try and get a flank round sometimes. So it should be interesting to see how they approach this for both teams.
Because ultimately, if they play their cards right, either team can really, you know, finish off a cap to E in, you know, was it about 2 minutes at best, and it has been done, and it can be done, and you know, ultimately it doesn't really come down to necessarily how strong the team is, but ultimately some good picks. And if, you know, Norway, who are the underdogs of this game, if they can get those necessary picks and work as a team and pull off some good strategy, then there's no reason why they can't win this. They shouldn't really be too fearing of this roster. You know, they have a really good chance on this map for sure, I would say.
Yeah, in terms of like moving around this map as well, like having like the good main calls coming out. So not sure who's going to be main calling for each of the teams at the moment, but you know, if the team actually just works together properly and they like work off like your advantages really well and get aggressive when they need to, they can make so much space on like C and B. And like, I mean, you got to remember as well with this map, a lot of teams sort of don't really rush C that much, even though C is probably the most important point you can cap, since it does provide you the bridges. So obviously, before you get C, you have to get B, and that doesn't give you the bridges. So only people like, you know, Pyro with like a detonator or a scorch shot can get on it. But like, you know, typical classes can only get on it, and it sort of restricts you to how you can play around the point. I mean, the spawns do change, but yeah, we'll have to see like whether they want to properly focus on the C point or the B point, or whether they just go for a full point wipe.
Does certainly open up a lot more mobility for your team if you can take a little bit of time to take C. It's never, in the current meta, as far as I know, it isn't really contested that much, and if you can take a bit of time to capture it, it will open up a lot of mobility, especially if you're having trouble taking E straight from B. So going to be quite interesting to see how both teams play this map. There are many different ways of playing it. Ultimately, a lot of it will come down to cohesion, though, which I would say the Finns have a decent advantage, mostly due to the fact that they've actually been playing as a team in the current UGC season. I do believe season 22 I don't know, 20 something, but they've got a whole season together with more or less the same roster that you're seeing today, and that's really going to help in terms of their strategy. Maybe they've played this map before, maybe they've scrimmed it a lot more than any other team has. That's going to give them a huge advantage in terms of how they are going to play this. They're going to have a lot of different options opened up. But when it comes down to it, predictions, Buck, what do you think?
I think, like you said, I think because of the cohesion and the teamwork side of it, and because they've been playing with each other for a lot longer, I think Finland will probably come out on top. Norway, just because of the way this is, I don't know, it might end up being like a 1-1, and then Finland win it with a 2-1, since this is a best of 3. But I don't know. It depends how well they'll adapt to the Finnish strategy, or maybe how well the Finns will have to adapt to a Norwegian super secret strat that they might have planned. Since there is quite a lot of stuff you can do on this map, to be honest. But I'm thinking, it'll come down to some key players as well. So I mean, in terms of Finland, who do you think is going to be the key players for them?
Well, if you're looking at DM aspects, you've got Byrne, who recently was voted as the sniper of the season after winning Prem with Super Dickmans. He's going to be a key player in this, I reckon. He's definitely going to have that advantage in terms of sniper v sniper. But he can be controlled, especially on steel. If the flank can hold the correct ground, they can quite easily deny a sniper. So he's not going to be unstoppable if the flank can keep him controlled. Other big players, I would have to say, well, really, it's going to be like the combo quite strong. You've got Skyper and Kunai, both of which are Premiership. In fact, the entire roster is Premiership. So we'll just quickly run down that. So we are going to see Bloodis, the head admin, well, the head Highlander admin for ETF2L, playing Scout. I think it's going to be McNando playing Soldier, former Premiership Spy. Jarkahu will be playing Pyro. Skyper will be playing Demo. Kunai will be playing Heavy Weapons Guy. Mezzo will be playing Engineer. I think it's going to be Lurky that will now be playing as... Oh, my TF2's crashed. It will be Lurky playing Medic. Byrne playing Sniper, and I think it's Dissy playing Spy. He is aliasing, but I'm pretty sure it's Dissy. And like I say, virtually the entire roster is Premiership. They've all played top level Highlander. They're all in a current UGC team. I think they've got a very good advantage here. Not to say that the Norwegians cannot win this back. They've got some key players as well. As Buck, if you want to go down that roster.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how players like Yahoo and Yixo do, because last time the Norwegians played, they seem to be obviously the standout players. Yixo, sort of a key player for Crazy Boy Clan, playing high, doing really well with them as a key player, and also Yahoo obviously winning with Super Dickmans in Prem, up there with pyros like Steve. So on a map like this as well, it's actually kind of surprising how well, if a good pyro can actually perform, especially when you get in the corridor area and you just manage to airblast people off the pit and you just play around the sentry and you play around the heals. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out, whether they play around sort of a pyro or a demo, or whether they want to try and rush their flanking and just shove all 9 people onto one point. To say.
I mean, yeah, it might be worth the Norwegians trying out a pyro-orientated playstyle. Yahoo, very key player, as you said, and pyro on that E point can be absolutely devastating. Pyro plus pit is going to be complete carnage if Yahoo can play it right. So it's really working out how the Norwegians are going to tackle this. Yeah, if they can put a lot of emphasis on their pyro, I think they can have a good strategy on their hands.
Do you think there's going to be any sort of weird crits or vac or quick fix going on, possibly, if things get a bit desperate? Because usually Uber's going to be quite commonly used here on this map, since it's just easy to get through choke points.
I think we could be looking at a crits play from the Norwegians. Ixo being one of the more high players in the team, may opt for a crits. I don't think we're going to see it from the Finns. I think they will play a more conservative role. I don't think they're going to maybe try anything too risky. But, you know, you never really know at the end of the day. The only reason I say that is they seem to, DM-wise, they have the advantage, and I don't think they necessarily need to try any gimmicky strategies like, you know, running a Crix or a Vaccinator. They can afford just to run a fairly straightforward playstyle, and due to their DM and having, you know, experience playing together, they should have a pretty good advantage there.
Alright, well, hopefully we'll be starting up soon, since we do have, I think we have 9 people, so we'll have to see if it goes live very soon. So, as a last minute call, so you still sticking with your finished prediction here for this win on this map?
Well, the optimistic part of me wants to say that Norway can claw back a couple of points. It's entirely doable. Like I say, this is the map of gimmicks, and that's exactly what Norway might be needing to outperform their fiercely over-DM'd opponents. But, I don't know, realistically, I think we might be looking at a 6-0 to Finland.
Alright, well there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully this gets started soon. I think the last people are already in. Shouldn't be too laggy. I think server's okay. So was actually, as for, so obviously when for the defending, we usually have either like obviously you got A or B, which you can sort of go to from the spawn. I mean, where do you usually see a sentry, or where do you expect to see a sentry coming out on this B point, do you think, for this first defense? Because some people sometimes opt for it up on the balcony area, and some people sort of have it on the low grounds.
Well, what I've seen in past games recently, and I think this has been played for a while, and it seems to be working, is you'll position your sentry in the aggressive spot, kind of on that little concrete ledge on B point, and they'll play it there as much as they can, and then the NG, you know, upon the push, we'll try and push it. We'll try and rescue range it back, play it on the little wooden catwalk, so that you've got that passive protection, and it really just slows down the overall Uber push. The problem lies basically in holding that aggressive position. Is that the way I see it is that if the flank can get round onto E, they've got that flank route into B, and they can sort of take a different angle to attacking B, and the sentry's not going to be covering that as well. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, we're going to see Yellow holding his sentry in the aggressive spot, as Finland will be attacking. And let's see how this goes.
Yeah, they're going to first come out on this A point. Most of the team here right now. Going to quickly cap this, no contesting, no sticks I can see, so nothing crazy coming out in terms of the demo. Endro does go down early, actually. I didn't actually miss that. Sniper getting a nice pick onto the demo. Should be just about up in time for them by the time they rotate for this push, but that's kind of interesting death at the start.
Yes, it's not going to make a massive difference, and we're going to be keeping an eye on Finland and how their combo is going to be rotating. If they are going to be rotating at all, they might be opting for an E push. In fact, it looks like they are going to be going down for an A to E push here, as the heavy makes his way into White Room. Demo following up on him, does get Girati'd, and at this point Norway has been alerted. QNX is going to go down along with Andy. Andy, the sniper, going down. Really big pick actually, as it pretty much, if they can get rid of the demo, they've got a good opportunity just to get on straight onto this point, as Ludis starts on the point, starts capping the point. I think they may have rotated though. Yes, they have, and Skyper now taking the Uber, takes down the sentry, and the counter does come out onto Ixo. Much better Uber for the Norwegians, but the cleanup isn't great, as Andy goes down along with Yellow and Endrio and the flank, and now it's only 3 up, and this is really not looking good at all. The medic should be trying to back out now. Yixo he actually does go down along with Yahoo, only 2 up now, although that is Vetleaks on the battlements, does actually go down as well. This is going to be an easy B cap for the Finns.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that was absolutely all over the place for the Norwegians. Their heavy was separated from their mid, their pyro was left alone because their demo died, their mid didn't get out or didn't hear the soldier come in too early, so that was like pretty much their worst nightmare there. Even after Yellow managed to spam them, even if he got sniped, I think they could have denied that, but they're going to come forward very quickly onto the C point. Pretty much the whole team here, like Scout and Soldier are here as well, so they're definitely going with that 9 people trying to get on the 1 point. They don't have Uber to contest this either. Like the Uber goes into the advantage of the offense, so no doubt they'll try and push this forward either to D or to E.
It looks like they're on quite the roll here, and playing that death ball playstyle where you just, you clump your 9 players together and you just go from point to point, not stopping for anything. C point is swiftly capped in only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That is an incredibly strong time as they jump straight on to D now. Skyper locking off with his stickies, and they are going to drop down onto D point, with the Norwegians now that they're going to be playing into White Room. Sorry, Uber does come out from the Finns. Not a great Uber. They do manage to pick off Yixo though, and it looks like their lease is going to fall as well. There he goes. Although the Finns are quite damaged though.
Yeah, they kind of sort of came back from that Uber fail. I thought the Norwegians were actually kind of getting a bit of a saving grace out of that like lurky mistake, but they seem to have kind of come back into this. Like they still have the people on D, and now that they've sort of trapped them out of this E area, like their NG's alone now. Anyone who wants to get to the NG is gonna have to travel very far, and the sentry does go down. NG's already getting on the point with pretty much most of the team, and there isn't a quick response for this from the Norwegians.
Although Skyper is picked off with a good pipes by Indrio. Is it going to be enough though? Probably not, as Andy goes down, Yahoo down as well, and this is really not looking great for the Norwegians. They're going to have to try and do something to claw this back. Indrio trying to get some damage out there onto the point, but he is going to have to back up to deal with a flank player. I think that was Skyper that was playing on the flank for some reason, but it looks like the Norwegians for now have held this off. I'm not sure for how long, as I believe, 3 players were going to go down to the Norwegians, and this is not looking too great.
Yeah, Lucky just sort of got trapped out behind on E with the soldier. Like he was literally just left alone, got forced, and then they had like all these Uber exchanges have been so weird right now. Like it's just sort of either a mistake or like they're not really sure where they're going. Like there's a bit of a lack of communication, I feel, but they are sort of managed to spam out the Norwegians in White Room here. As the demo does go down on the side of the offense, so that might hinder their push a bit. But as I say, that Nando doing a lot of work trying to get onto the center point with the sniper in the window or near the window.
Absolutely, and actually the Norwegians now clawing back with some good damage. McNando and Bloodis both went down, no flank. It's going to be hard to contest the last point without your flank, and they have taken control of White Room, which is a pretty viable strategy. You can contest E there without much hassle or fear from any sniper plays. That being said, Yellow does go down. That sentry is now incredibly weak. It's going to go down shortly, and this might provide the opening for the Finns. Andy does go down as Bloodis and McNando just rush him. He was the only really the only player there, playing maybe a bit out of position. Endrio also going down as the Finns now try and contest to take White Room. It looks like they are. They seem to be winning this DM fight. Uber's about equal now, and now they've really got to think about, are they going to commit to actually trying to take the point? It looks like they are, but it seems a bit scattered there. They don't really seem to know where they're going. They're finally getting a good amount of players on the point, and the Norwegians are going to try and contest from White Room now. I don't know if they're going to be able to, as they are just getting absolutely decimated at the moment. Only 3 up now. Let Leaks doing his best. Endrio doing his best in the Uber exchange, but he doesn't have anyone to back him up. I don't think he's going to have to back out here.
Yeah, that Uber again being a bit sort of forced there, so they couldn't really do much. I mean, I feel like Finland, like they'll possibly cut this out now, but McNando and the rest of the flank, like Blood, has made so much space before. I feel like Finland probably could have capitalised on that like way earlier. As I say that, the mid comes in behind and gets the Uber into the sniper, but there's so many dead right now for the defense. It's just Endrio, and he'll likely get jumps.
Again, only 2 up. Just Enduro and Vetleaks. Vetleaks is going to struggle to deal with about 7 players on the point now, and that is going to be it. That is the first round for the Finns in 7 minutes, which, you know, I wouldn't consider that a roll.
It was actually. Yeah, I thought it might have been slightly faster, or like I said, I feel like it could have been a bit faster. But I mean, even still, 7 minutes late, you know, to give it, I guess you can give it to them. That's still like a decent time. They did really well with that sort of B push, like Norway making a bit of a mistake, like here and there, and they got C pretty well, like blocking them off the spawn and having the Uber advantage. D, I think, was where it sort of started to go a bit confusing for both teams, because like after the mistake Uber coming out from Lurky, and then they sort of came back, got the point, and then rotated into White Room, and then it's just like sort of a stalemate in White Room while Yellow is just holding alone against like the whole flank. So yeah, people were basically everywhere.
Everything certainly seemed a bit disconnected. In fact, from both teams, after the Finnish steamroll was kind of controlled when they took D, I felt they struggled to maybe regroup and play a strategy as best as they maybe could have. The Norwegians kind of managed to hold them off for a fair amount of time, considering how decimated they were getting up until the D point. But as we go live now to the next round, we're going to see the Norwegians attacking uncontested once again on A. I'm pretty sure any attempt to contest A is pretty much a dead strategy at this point. So yeah, that's pretty much to be expected now. Now it's working out what they're going to do from here. Are they going to commit to an E push? They haven't really rotated yet. So I'm thinking maybe.
Possibly. I mean, Andy got the best of burn there on that sniper duel, so that might be, you know, a bit of a cue to sort of try and make some space here. Like if they quickly rush up to this top right area and spam out the sentry, there's no sniper to deny them. Andy also getting the demo as well, so huge bigs coming out from the sniper here as they Uber out into the sentry. Spy gets a nice step on the power in the back line, so he's just left with Kunai in this Uber against basically the whole team.
Absolutely, and even though they had a way better Uber, the Finnish had a way better Uber, but they didn't really have the players to back it up. That being said though, the post Uber is going to go hugely in favour of the Finns, although Vetleak's taking quite a lot of ground, isn't going to be able to be followed up by his team. That is Highlander going in for a huge bomb, takes down Yellow, QNX as well going down, and the post Uber was such a shame there. They didn't really take as much ground as they could have. They kind of sat very passive, not really following up well. But they had the player advantage and they didn't do anything off it, and that was a real shame to see.
Yeah, what the Finns did really well there was the fact that their flank realised that they were going to lose B. So, as you saw, Bloodis and Highlander just came in and helped sort of deny the space. So that was really well played there. Like they've now gone back to their default position, but you know, just a nice game sense coming out.
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, the Finns played that really well, as you said. But as another Uber is going to come out, they're wasting no time. Uber is now re-exchanged by Finns. The Finnish doing huge damage. Skyper doing massive damage to Vetleaks, but actually gets taken down. But it's not going to make a massive difference as the Norwegians will be pushed back all the way to their tunnel. And once again, a disappointing Uber in terms of them taking space. They put so much effort onto taking down Skyper that they didn't really realise that they were just going to get completely counter-pushed on the post Uber, and they were pushed straight back into tunnel. But it looks like they're going to be going for another dry push.
Yeah, Yellow with an interesting sort of aggressive level 3 here, might be able to deny them, but they're losing quite a lot on the offense here as the demo goes down, and the heavy for the offense. Q9 trying to push them back. Andy with a nice snipe onto burn there once again. Highlander trying to go for the bomb in, doesn't get denied by the sentry, but he's going to get counter jumped by QNX.
Yeah, but that being said, Andy gets a lovely pick onto Skyper. Bloodis goes down as well, and I think that's a sentry gun as well. It looks like the Finns might have to back out here, but Kunai is still playing nice and aggressively. In fact, does use the Uber here. Maybe a very questionable decision there. There was no need to use that Uber. They could have backed out there. And now Uxo is going to have a full Uber advantage with plenty of the Finns only just respawning now as we speak. They should really be steamrolling this. They need to be getting a move on though.
Yeah, Brown getting in behind as well, just getting melts and found out. Yeah, they're kind of interested Uber there, but and they're going to just go straight up push this in with their combo. Velik's taking a lot of damage from the demo, but the demo just go down for his Trommels. So nice snipe coming out onto Velik's there. McNando as well, the flank coming back in as a saving grace once again to save the semi-save the C point for now, as there isn't really that many players on the offense coming in.
Oh, absolutely. That flank strategy between Bloodis and McNando was incredible, really. You just saw Bloodis coming from under and a jump from McNando. I don't really know from where, but they completely blocked out the medic from his combo and swiftly picked him off. Very good plays there.
Yeah, they're going to be set up with this sort of interesting heavy sentry in the same place with their sniper as well. See, this is the problem with having your NG and your sniper in the same place, I always feel on this map, where it just leaves E open. So now they've got basically no denial, it's just Bloodis sort of trying to do what he can, and he just get picked up by the Norwegian flank. So, Norway doing a good job of actually making some space here on E, but they have finally rotated, and Yahoo just have to get off the point. The mid does go down though, well, McNando getting the mid in the back lines. So that will be massive advantage in favour of Lurky for the Finns.
That was such a shame for Yahoo. He got all that time on the point there, did a really good job of deflecting Skyper's stickies and pipes, but I didn't feel like his team really followed them up enough. They should really have opted to get onto the E side, but that being said, a swift cap onto C is going to open up a better mobility for the Norwegians, but with only 1 minute 50 left, it is going to be very tough. They are going to have to play the E point almost immediately if they want to have any chance of taking this. It's looking very grim though for the Norwegians.
Yeah, Bedso with actually kind of decent sentry positioning here. Like it's sort of just an angle where he can't. Well, I'll say that, and QNX doesn't really care because he's shooting it. But yeah, they feel like there needs to be probably more help around a sentry since they need to kind of get E here now. They don't really need to care too much about D. They have rotated into this sort of main area, but it's still kind of scattered at the moment while the other combo holds in White Room.
It's definitely too late for a D push, and Ixo with only a 30% Uber and Lucky on a full 100, it's going to look very hard, and the cleanup is just incredible from the Finns as Vetleaks went down along with plenty of the other players, and you've just got an incredibly strong hold that's not going to let any space get taken through that BCE connector.
Yellow? Yellow? Okay, right, yeah, okay, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was an NG just Wing into a Pyro demo that were being healed, and they managed to, like, kill him somehow. So, massive play by the engineer there, as the heavy's on the point, getting spammed by the soldier. So,
that could be just what it needs now, as a ×4 is in process, halfway onto the point. This is looking incredibly strong now for the Norwegians. It is not too late. ×6, 20 seconds left, everything to play for. And that full Uber advantage from Ixo, but he's playing almost by himself. The Uber does come out, in fact, ×7. There it is.
Wow.
The Norwegians in the nick of time taking the first round. Wow, as you say.
That was a massive change of minds at the end there. Like, they really sort of collected themselves. They stayed calm on that E point. Like, everyone just stayed alive. They knew what they needed to do. Everyone needed to start the point. They just had their important, like, splash classes, the soldier and the demo, at the front with the Uber. And, they had no response. They just couldn't walk through. Like, no one was able to get around behind them or anything. So, really well played by Norway there.
Really well played by Yellow and his amazing force. That completely turned the tide for the Norwegians. So, big shout out to Yellow for that. That was an incredible ballsy strategy there, and it really did pay off.
So you have to see how Finland respond to that. But we can quickly go over some logs, see how people did. I mean, I'm guessing McNando is probably going to be one of the damaging players here. He did so much for their team right there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the logs up right now, and McNando 20 to 11 with 400 DPM, and Bloodis coming up second with 17 to 13. So the flank really going huge for Finland. And in terms of damage and kills, it's kind of uncontested Finns at the top of the board there, where the Norwegians
That just shows that, if anything, right, that just shows that, like, you know, like you said, anyone can sort of just win this at any moment. So that's good evidence of that, to be honest.
Well, exactly. It is the map of gimmicks, and you know where the Finns, you know, went wrong here. I think lies in their strategy. You know, the Norwegians, they had nothing to lose, and they just, you know, they knew that they were the underdogs of this match, and they had nothing to lose, and they were willing to risk it. They were willing to try something different, and it paid off. And you know, really, the Finns are going to have to be thinking, how can we, you know, outmaneuver this team at this point? Because currently they're playing a very stock death ball play style, and while that is great, it can easily be one-upped by some lucky gimmicks or skilled. You know, I'm not, you know, and the Norwegians certainly had that.
I think partly as well, when you start like doing what the Finns did, like to a point it can be effective, but you got to realize that like when there's one effective strategy, the one strategy starts getting predictable. So Norway, you know, if you do mix things up, because they're unpredictable, they have a chance at working. So they just went along with that, and it ended up working. So you know, that just goes like to say that, you know, they had the balls to take on the Finns with some, you know, maybe odds or made-up strats that they might have made up on the fly, but you know, ended up working for them.
Well, exactly. I think that's what this map suits towards, is those more sort of radical strats that, you know, don't necessarily play by the meta, and really, you know, the Norwegians, they could have taken a guess that, you know, in terms of DM, they didn't really have the advantage here, and just by sort of trying something a little bit different and, you know, not following the rulebook, you know, they were able to take that first round, and that's going to be a huge weight lifted off their shoulders as hopefully we move into the next round. Now, I'm completely shocked by the outcome of this, and I'm very excited to see how how the rest of the game unfolds.
I think, if anything, as well, it's going to be a massive morale boost to the Norwegians, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on the Finns to sort of have to prove themselves back. Like, they might be saying to themselves, yeah, they only got it by like 9 seconds, but, you know, those 9 seconds are what won them the game.
Well, exactly. I mean, it doesn't really matter how quick, how close it was, and they, you know, they've still won. They've still taken at least 2 points off the Finns in a game that I think many would have said would have been a roll here, you know, including me.
I think Caster's Curse might be coming back to haunt us all, yeah. Well, yeah, I was saying the Finns might win this, so, you know, maybe the Norwegians have found their weakness.
I always do like an underdog though, so I'm pleasantly surprised by this outcome.
I think it's going to be a pretty standard setup again though here. I think it'll be good to see how okay, we're getting information from Wiethoofd that apparently they're going for a crits play, it seems, possibly. We'll have to see if there's going to be well, we'll have to see if they stick with that minigun. I think they may have changed by now, but there are crit sticks currently on the A point, so let's see how many people get picked off by those.
It's quite interesting little strategy. I don't know if that's going to pay off at this sort of high level Highlander, but you never know. Maybe you can get a cheeky med drop if Ixo isn't really paying attention. But we'll have to wait and see as the game does go live. Norwegians now quickly getting onto A point, and yes, the crit stickies are found out, and yes, they are destroyed. No real surprise there, but slight, you know, aggression from Andy there into the tunnel. Not really getting anything, but they have actually taken that tunnel space. Sniper isn't contesting at all. Skyper, however, playing quite aggressive, does get the pick onto Andy, in fact, and going to open up maybe some room to peek that tunnel if need be. There, yeah, in fact, he is going to be putting some pipes down that tunnel range there. Who else was that went down? That was QNX and Vetleaks and Bran all going down. Not massively worrying, you know, it's just could be considered a suicide wave here, but Skyper doing a real good job of just keeping that DM out. But the Uber is used not great either Didn't manage to take much space before they used it. Yahoo goes down quickly. He does actually play very aggressive there, but he didn't get followed up by his medic, which is quite disappointing.
Yeah, kind of poor to see Yahoo get dropped there, but I mean, essentially he's still alive, and like they're trying to make so much space on this balcony, but they haven't yet killed the sentry. You know, Metso manages to keep it alive, and the demo's putting sufficient spam up there, so they might have to try and find another route in here.
It doesn't look like they're going to have any opportunity from Catwalk or battlements even, and they are going to have to just resort back into tunnel. Maybe they at this point could be considering a different flank, maybe something through E. Skyper just seems to be holding it down too well, but as I say that, Burn and Skyper both going down. In fact, Jarkahoo, Dissy and Bloodis all going down now, and Lurky doesn't even have his Uber. Yuxo really could be pushing his team forward here, and it looks like it's going to be a free cap in fact. Wow, that was some good unexpected DM by the Norwegians there. They're going to be hot to just kind of push it straight forward, but the Uber force does come out. Mignando taking the flank route through spawn into B does get a good force, and that's going to be quite impressive. That's really impressive actually, giving Lurky now full Uber advantage, and that's really going to slow down their steamroll onto C.
Not sure what Skype is sort of planning here, because like on both times I feel like he's okay. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, both times he's kind of fed in a way, and they've just sort of dropped their heavy here. The Finns having a real problem sort of collecting themselves together. It might be like a comm thing or something, but
might well be a morale thing as well. I mean,
yeah.
They just got completely, you know, I believe the term is nutted on by the Norwegians. And, you know, it seems the same thing's happening again. You know, that E point is almost gone. I completely didn't even pay attention to what was happening on E, but, you know, that's already halfway through. C is already being capped in a similar time to how the Finns did it. And I was, you know, praising the Finns for capping C in such a record time. But the Norwegians have literally done the same thing now. Yeah, 3 minutes 10 is a very good time. And are they going to just be taking this straight into D? It looks like it. They're going down Death Valley now with Uber advantage by 30% in fact, and you know the Finns now at this point really need to be setting up a much better hold. They seem very scattered, and I don't even right now I can't really tell where they're holding. It looks like White Room, but they're just simply not taking any space. They're giving D up free almost, but the force does come out from Ixo. Lurky's just about to get his Uber now. Yep, there it goes, and that's good Uber exchange by the Finns. They do actually manage to stop D from being capped. Now they really need to set back up and hold it strong.
I think one thing they made a mistake there was they were trying to think of where their combo would be, but the only place they really could be, if they were on D and they didn't contest them, was in White Room. They had the Uber, so I'm surprised they didn't just take their combo and leave one person to cap and then like go and kill them, because the only reason that worked sort of there is because the enemy team had Uber to like come back into it. So, I don't know, maybe sort of a misplay, but I don't know, still well played to actually, you know, put a lot of pressure on up to this point.
Definitely, and, you know, at this point, it looks like the Finns have maybe just got their heads straight again, and, you know, they're really got a far stronger hold at this point. The Norwegians now trying to bully their way onto the point. The sentry is going to go down. The Finns are going to respond from White Room, but they are already getting locked out again. This is actually looking quite impressive for Norway. If they can just block off the connector, they have a really good chance here. Kanai taking that space though. Uber does come out. Ixo now 90%. Could just be looking for a straight repush now. As only Andy is down. They have no reason to not go for the repush here. They're only 4 up. The Finns, in fact, 3 up as I say this now. And they might not even have to use here. The drop!
Burn with a massive shot onto Yixo, defining the Uber advantage there. So if they manage to collect these spawns together and push out, we'll have to see if they can sort of, you know, go around the D side and like stop this cap. But I mean, there's already ×5 on it, so Norway doing just a good job of getting on this point collectively. They have their demo at the top areas. Soldier's trying to deny it as best as he can, but QNX is going to bomb in.
Actually, really nice play there by QNX. Just knowing that, you know, they'd be looking for, you know, maybe a last-minute suicide wave there to try and get the Norwegians off the point. Just jumped straight in and denied that space that Mignando was looking to take there. Wow, that was a really impressive follow-up there. They just got those picks. They went off it. Even with Ixo's drop, it still wasn't enough. Those long respawn times, combined with having to funnel the defending team down a relatively thin choke, just made it impossible for the Finns to regroup and get the Norwegians off that point. And with 5 minutes 32 seconds, that is an incredible time for the Norwegians, who, you know, as I've been saying all this game, you know, they are the underdogs. They were not expected to win here, but that is an insane time against an established team full of Prem players.
Yeah, I feel like for the Finns, some of their reactions to what was going on, especially it all started on C, pretty much. Like, they had a decent B push in, but they could have collected themselves for C. But I feel like the reactions to where the calls are coming in from their flank and, like, you know, trying to keep their sentry alive, there just wasn't really anyone paying as much attention as they could have been, I feel, and it sort of just let them down overall, and they ended up having a really good time for the offense as a result.
There's definitely also, you know, maximum tilt going on in that Finnish Mumble, I can assure you there. There's no way that they are keeping a very level head when they're getting completely decimated by the Norwegians right now. And, you know, it just, I mean, it's not over though. The Finns can quite easily do this in 5 minutes if they play it right. I think that was Botman. Botman does go down. Nothing really too worrying though for the Norwegians though. But they are going to edge their way into White Room without being contested much. In fact, Skyper playing very out of position there. Does get reflected by Wiethoofd. Vladis trying to get in as well. I think he manages to pick off Endrio, which is, you know, a fairly decent trade. That's demo for demo now, but it's going to really make it difficult for the Finns to take any space here without their demo. Andy, however, does go down, and the level 3 is set up already by Mezzo, overlooking the point. So now they've really just got to actually get their players onto the point at this rate. But I'm not sure whether I'm not sure if they're going to do that. But yes, they are.
Demo does go down as well, like, and the other demo is just able to stick off the spawn. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised at how much space they let them in on the E. Like, the only option they had basically was to go for an E push with that much time, surely. But I mean, the Ubers do come out here. Like, I'm not sure there's going to be much space gotten from the defense here, since the offense is so already set up with the scout on the point. McNando getting chased by the scout here does go down through troubles there. So they do have everyone live still on the offense.
No, they essentially just let them in. They had a really poor Uber exchange. The Norwegians, I think, maybe getting forced a little bit and had to take the Uber on the heavy. That being said, Endrio gets a couple of good frags. Vladis going down, Jaku going down. That's going to and McNando is more or less going to stop any point capture being had. And the Finns are going to have to back out here. Good little DM exchange in favour of the Norwegians as the Finns back out, in fact, back into White Room, and at this point, I think the Norwegians right now, they really need to be thinking about taking some more space here. They have moved that level 3 though, which is a really good decision. Basically overlooking the point makes it very hard for anyone just to sit on that point, as Bloodis had been doing. But at this point, the Finns are going to be Uber exchanging straight into there. The Uber comes out. They do drop Endrio, unfortunately, but it is a better Uber for the Norwegians. Vet leaks now. Can he get the pick onto Skyper? He does, in fact, and yes, the Finns are going to have to back straight into map room again. Oh, and Lurky going down to a brilliant pick by Andy. I'm not sure where that was from. I think maybe from Spawn Doors, but yeah, it was from Spawn Doors, and what a shot there.
Andy going absolutely ham on this defense, trying to defend this point. The Finns sort of might be starting to panic it slightly here, like, but there is a really good defense coming out on the side of Norway with this demo and sniper spam constantly from this door. If that's not handled quickly, then they're going to get sort of overwhelmed and they might have to just try something else. But I mean, at this point, I'm not sure they can sort of commit to anything else since there's only 2 minutes left.
I mean, yeah, they kind of put all their eggs into one basket by committing to this E push so heavily that there is no going back now. They have to carry on with this. The Norwegians know this as well. The Norwegians are going to put everything into holding E at this rate, and that makes it really hard to cap E, in fact. The Finns are definitely in a very weak position here. It takes, without having anything else capped, I think it's about a minute and a half for the E point to be capped, and that is dwindling now. If they can't get something done quickly, I don't think there's any chance, and this is going to be a 6-0 to the Norwegians.
Yeah, this will be absolutely outstanding play by the Norwegians if that actually ends up happening. I mean, they're doing a good job of actually killing the classes that can get on the point. You know, McNando goes down, the scout has just come back from spawn. Bloodis goes down again to a snipe from Andy. Andy going absolutely huge on this defense, sitting in that spawn with no one denying him. The Spiders managed to get the offensive sentry as well, so this is not looking good for Finland.
And did I see a pit 3k from Yahoo, who just completely denied the Finnish Uber? Just absolutely, I don't even know, like that was nuts. There was no effort put into that. He just absolutely ended the Finnish Uber there, and this is GG now. I don't even think it's possible. Yeah, Bloodis isn't committing at all to the point now, and even if he did, he'd get jibbed to hell, as you know, that is stickied up now. Holy moly. Ladies and gentlemen, the Norwegians are actually going to 6-0 the Finnish national team. That's
I know I keep mentioning his name, but just so much props to Andy here on this defense. Like, I don't think he's even died in the past like 2 or 3 minutes. He even took down Burn. Like, oh, as I say, like, he does go down now. There are some picks actually going on in the favour of Finland in this last push, but the Uber does come out. There's no pyro here to like sort of, you know, air blast them back or anything. So they're also gonna try and take the space. Endrio going really far forwards, does get picked off as he does sort of overextend. The demo desperately trying to block this off, but it's too late now. 2 seconds, and that's
all too late in the game. The Norwegians are going to 6-0 the Finnish national team. Incredible turn of events there, ladies and gentlemen. I think most people would have, looking at these rosters, put the Finnish into roll the Norwegians, but you know, as stated, Steel, you never know. You never know with Steel. This kind of map can go any way. It doesn't necessarily take a good DM team to win, and I think this was proved by I think some incredible plays and tactics by the Norwegians.
I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like we still need to publicly apologise on behalf of Norway for actually doubting their ability, because like they, on that last round especially, with that 5.5 minute time, even after, like, you know, even if Finland were tilted a bit, like that's absolutely no excuse for them to play like the way they did. Like, yeah, admittedly they would have got, like, you know, they could have got some good picks, like, you know, especially McNando and Bloodis coming in behind and getting loads of picks. But in the end, they just sort of came in together, played really well, got the space they needed to, and just denied the Finnish assault.
Definitely, yes. And maybe let's check out some logs, and let's have a quick look. Yahoo, star player, 15-7. With some good damage for a pyro at 268 DPM. You know, that, as I said, yeah, I mean, most of the fighting happened around E on that second round, especially when the Finns were attacking, and that's, you know, that's prime time for a pyro. So it's not surprising to see Yahoo going absolutely nutty with his reflex. I think he finished off two players in the pit there, and some incredible shotgun aim as well throughout. Burn following up, 12-13, still really good. Andy, 11-5, but with better DPM and also more headshots. Andy actually, especially on that defending round, went massive in just denying the players needed to cap the points. You know, Bloodis was focused, McNando was focused, and I think Jarka, who was focused as well quite a lot. And without those players, you're not like the E push is just not going to be successful. Yeah,
the Ubers as well, like coming out from both teams there, like I would say still definitely favoured Norway in the way they sort of just positioned themselves. They got as aggressive as they needed to do, is to like push them off the point when they needed to. But just to say as a side note as well, I kind of feel sorry for Metzo when he set up that sentry, because it actually stayed alive for quite a long time, and I feel like they could have done, like if he positioned it like slightly more to the right, it probably could have covered his team a bit more and like provided a bit more defense for his team. But I mean, that's not going to mean anything if there's still people sitting in the corridor area, which I think they probably needs to focus out a bit more. But you know, Yahoo sitting there with his reflex, that's all he needs to do really.
Complete madman for sure, but we do have, in fact, the captains of both teams. So let's welcome Bloodis and Ixo to the Mumble here. Let's start off with Bloodis. Come on, what happened?
I'm not really sure. Like, we haven't really even been like playing the whole map too much at all, really. But like, we were still like a bit unsure with our strats and like what are we like gonna do in the game then. And like we didn't really even execute what we even had planned all as well.
Because I mean, you guys had a, if I'm not mistaken, a UGC team, more or less the same. Did you commit to scrimming much steel, or was that kind of overlooked?
It was pretty much just like overlooked, like you said, because like the UGC team that we have was like planned to have like was just like how to say, we were just like planning to have like our first stable roster there and so on, but like even there, like we haven't even been playing that seriously that much.
That's a real shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah, it's fair enough. And Yiksa, I mean, congratulations on the Norway team, especially in that second round, coming back into that fight. Like, you must have felt really good after you got, decent, that 9-second cap left, and then, like a 5.5 minute time after you pushed them back on B. So, what were your thoughts on that?
The mumble was definitely like really loud when we managed to cap when it was like 9 seconds left. Like, a lot of people were surprised. I'm not sure, like, I don't think many people actually expected us to beat Finland, but it was steel where everything can happen.
Yeah, you've definitely, come out and proved yourselves. Like, even we were saying, like, we expected, like, Finland to possibly come forward a bit, but, steel can always be one of those enigmas where it just sort of can be hide in the backgrounds and then comes out to bite you in the butt sometimes. It needs to be scrimmed quite often, I feel. It's very teamwork oriented, but can be quite lucky as well. But anyway, well played with that regard.
I would like to make a formal apology to the Norwegian nation for my caster bias. It was wrong of me, and I am undergoing therapy to try and fix my caster bias for Finland. So I am awfully sorry, and please accept my humble apology.
It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Seems legit. So yeah, thank you, thank you for your inputs, guys. Well played to Norway, and commiserations, Finland, on that
One
game.
last thing for the Norwegians. Has this first victory, is this going to maybe motivate some more intense scrimmage from you guys?
I don't know. Like, people get exams at the moment, and
but they don't matter.
Well, yeah, of course, TF2 before.
You need to win TF2 Nations.
Yeah, of course. But
Well,
yeah,
that's a
I don't
shame.
think we're gonna scrim that often. Like, we scrimmed once a week for now, and I don't think it will be more.
Well, that's a shame. But either way, congratulations to Norway for
Thank you.
For their first victory in this ETF2L Fifth Nations Cup, and Finland. Come on, get with it. Anyway, before we wrap this up, any final shout-outs, Bloodis?
Shout-outs to the Finnish team and all the TF2L admins.
Okay, and to Yiksa?
Shout out to Norway, Crazy Boy Clan, Botman for stepping in as a sub. Shout out to Sinrise, and shout out to FTH, Pixel, Mankind, and Hunter.
Wow, okay, and last but not least, Buck. Any shout-outs for you, my friend?
I was like, shout out to Wiethoofd for being on camera, I suppose. Thanks for all the castings being done. I'm sure everyone appreciates it. And yeah, thank you guys. I guess I'll have to see how these teams fare up in the next maps in future. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.